everyone. Welcome to our yet another session for a beautiful destination that we're going to talk about, Australia. But before we dive into the session, I would quickly like to know if my voice is audible. So if I'm audible, please do type a yes in the chat box. And also, talking about this chat box, this is the place where you're going to ask all your questions about today's session. And I would request you to wait patiently so that our host could address them by end of the session. So a quick check on if I'm audible. Yes or audible answer would be great out there. So yeah, so I believe I'm audible to all. And as a couple of you are new to Galvanize Global Education, I would quickly like to help you understand about Galvanize Global Education. And as you could see, Galvanize Global Education is founded by alumni from top universities like Stanford, IIT Madras, and Ahmedabad. And we have a team of experts here to lead the admissions team. We have Jayanti Ramakrishnan, who is done a PhD from University of Texas. We have Soumya Subramanian, who's the academic head, and she's from San Jose State University. We have Rohini, who's a product analyst, and also she's done her MBA from University of North Texas. So, your go-to-go person for today's webinar, we have with us Babu Nagendra Kumar, sir, who's a senior admissions expert. And a little bit about his briefing. He has 10 plus years of experience into overseas education. He has worked across top-notch companies out there, and he has personally helped a lot of students get into their dream destination. And today, we are pleased to have him here because he's going to talk about Australia. So, without any further delay, I would request sir to start with the session.
Thank you, Ramya. Hi, good evening all. I hope my voice is audible.
Yes, sir. Your voice is audible.
Okay, great. Just give me a second. I'm just sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So we are going to talk today about mostly about Australia, one of the beautiful destinations, okay, and a country which is known for permanent residency. Okay, so why Australia basically? Why do people actually consider Australia as a destination in the sense? It has more number of quality, I mean, like more international ranking universities, and it is known for quality of education. Posted, you get an opportunity to step back up to 5 years after you complete your masters, and it has flexible intakes with rolling deadlines, not like any other country. Okay, where there is fixed deadlines, like you have to apply only at this particular time, and by this time you have to submit all your documents. Okay, it has flexible intakes with rolling deadlines. You can apply as late as possible, and most of the universities in Australia does not have any kind of application fees. Lower entry requirements with top-notch quality of education. And as I said to you, it is one of the beautiful countries to look out for a permanent residence. That is called as an opportunity for PR, and you get an opportunity to work for 48 hours fortnightly, okay, while you're studying in Australia. Ideally, when you talk about other countries, most of the countries provide 20 hours per week as a part-time job opportunities, but Australia is a country which allows you to work 4 hours extra, which is nothing but 48 hours for, I mean, like fortnightly, which ideally means 24 hours, okay, per week you can work as a part-time job opportunities. Now, if you see to the right, okay, you have universities. Okay, I picked out one of the universities which falls under the top 40 universities as per QS only QS World University Rankings. One is University of Melbourne, which is ranked among top 14 universities. The other university would be University of New South Wales, which is ranked among 19. Okay, again, University of Sydney, which is tied up with University of New South Wales. And then comes the Australian National University, which is 34th in ranking. Okay. Now, also let us see why do people prefer to study in Australia. As per the data which has been submitted by Australian government in 2020, there were over 7.6 million immigrants living in Australia. Wow, that's an amazing number, and that's an amazing country which is actually welcoming more number of international students, okay, which is like you get an opportunity to get a permanent residency over there. This is approximately 29.8% of the population that were born overseas. That means 30% of population who are actually living in Australia are born out of Australia. In the year ending 2020, India was once again the most common country of birth for migrants, where 7,21,000 Indians are staying in Australia. It has some top paying industries, okay, information technology, healthcare, engineering and finance. Some specific roles include software development, nursing, civil engineering, and financial analysis. Some of the top companies in Australia, if you look at Commonwealth Bank, BHP Group, CSL Limited, Macquarie Group, another amazing company is Canva. It's a new startup in Australia. And then it is Atlassian. The pay scale, okay, now the pay scale for different levels, it varies starting from 70,000 Australian dollars and goes up to paying you 1,50,000 Australian dollars. This is an average capping. You do have companies which pays you around 2,50,000 Australian dollars, but I'm not projecting that higher amount because it becomes like more of a dream salary. Okay, it starts with entry-level positions. Entry-level positions pays you around 70,000 Australian dollars, and the professionals gets earned around 1,50,000 Australian dollars. And these are some of the popular destinations, popular cities in like in Australia. One is Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Perth. Okay, now when you talk about the different types of universities, because I always talk about different types of universities in all my webinar. The reason because the one particular thing that you are actually looking out to study abroad is because of the quality of education, and quality of education depends upon what type of universities you are going to join over there, and this university should help you to get a placements. Okay, there are 5 different types of universities in Australia. One of the popularly known universities are group of 8 universities in Australia. Group of 8 universities are as equivalent as Ivy League universities in Australia. Okay, these are the oldest and the largest universities. These universities provide world leading research incentive universities, consistently the high ranked universities of Australian universities. 7 out of 8 universities are in top 100 global university rankings as per the QS World Ranking. You can see the university names here. One is University of Melbourne, University of Sydney, University of Queensland, and then comes Australian National University. Then you have Monash University, University of New South Wales, University of Western Australia, and then we have University of Adelaide. Then the second different type of universities are Australian Technology Network, that is called as ATN. These are a group of 6 universities established in 1999. These universities focuses more on practical learning and finding solutions to the problems faced by the world. The Australian National Technological Network aims to provide industry partnership, develop practical skills in the students. Basically, these are job-oriented courses, and the universities that are listed over here are Curtin University, RMIT, University of Queensland, University of South Australia, Deakin University, the University of Newcastle, University of Western Australia, and University of Technology, Sydney. Okay, then comes the regional universities. Okay, the regional universities are the universities which are located in regional areas of Australia. These are the group of 7 universities that came under university, like regional universities established in 2011. The group aims to provide a significant contribution towards the growth of regional economies and communities. These universities ensure that higher education is accessible to all the people in regional areas. Now, which are these universities in the sense? This is Sikkim University, Central Queensland University, then you have Federation University, then you have Charles Sturt University, then you have Southern Cross University, then you have University of Southern Queensland, we call it as USQ, University of Sunshine Coast, then you have University of New England. Okay, the 1960s to 1970s university, this is a time where most of the Australian universities education has been reworked upon. Okay, these universities are the universities which have been established during the 90s and 70s. The state government, in order to address the demands of higher education, the main objective of these universities when it was being launched or initiated was to re-evaluate the pattern of education and bring about the difference in the need from their traditional way of learning. These universities which are formed are listed below. One university is Macquarie University, Flinders University, University of Newcastle, Deakin University, Latrobe University, Griffith University, James Cook University, and then you have Modrak University, the University of Wollongong. Okay, now if you see the fifth type of university, these universities are called as new generation universities. For students of higher, these universities has been, established in order to provide education to the students who have completed the 12. Colleges imparting state-of-art education was set up by the Australian government. The aim was to equip them to the new form of higher education institutions. The distinguish between university and non-university sector ended in the year 1988. In 2002, the network of these universities was built a lobby, that is a group, but these universities, this particular new generation group cannot exist for a long time, but still these universities exist. So these universities are such as Australian Catholic University, Canberra University, University of Notre Dame, Bond University, Edith Cowan University, Victoria University, Western Sydney University. Okay, then we talk about universities we talk about how the universities in Australia. In total, there are 43 universities in Australia, out of which 38 universities are public universities. 3 universities are private universities known as Bond University, Notre Dame University, and Torrens University. And then you have 2 universities with international campuses. One is Carnegie Mellon University, one of the top-notch known university in US, and the other college is University College London, which is known university again in UK. The higher education sector in Australia primarily consists of these universities. Australian universities offer pathway programs, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs. We're also going to talk about what is pathway programs, because most of you knows bachelor's and master's as well as PhD programs. Okay, now when I talk about the education system in Australia, basically the length of study is 13 years in total, including your kindergarten and your 12th standard. Basically, you have, we call it as terms. Okay, there are 4 terms with holiday breaks between each term. Terms are nothing but these are usually called as semesters. But in Australia, we call it as terms. The start date is January or early February, because this is the time that most of the colleges opens. This is a major intake in Australia. Now you can see here length of study typically that 3 years. Okay, for 3 to 4 years of bachelor's. When you have the UG program in Australia is basically 3 years, and when you do a 4 years degree in Australia, it's called as bachelor honors degree. PG is somewhere between 1 to 2 years, because you do have programs for masters in Australia which is of 1 year duration or 18 months duration, but make sure that you choose 2 years program in order to qualify for your post-study work option. Because if you are not going to do a 2 years masters in Australia, then you are not authorized to get that extra 3 years work permit in Australia. Okay, then typically the PhD program, the doctoral program is 3 years plus 1 year of review, which is ideally 4 years. Semesters, okay, ideally it is going to be 2 semesters, but some providers even offer 3 semesters. Okay, For we are talking about for UG, and for PG it is somewhere between 2 to 4 semesters. Okay, but some 2 to 4, and master doctoral candidates do not attend colleges. PhD programs, here the students do not attend the regular colleges, but instead have academic supervisor throughout the year who are going to monitor their supervision. Okay, now these are the intakes of Australia that we have been discussing about. Okay, there are two major intakes, February and July, offered by all the universities and private colleges. All the programs are offered during this particular two intake, and there is a minor intake which is called as October and November intake. You still say, for example, you missed out on a July intake, you do not want to wait till February intake, you can still target on October and November intake. And this particular intake is being offered by very few universities, and these are major universities, and some of the major universities which offers this October and November intake are Deakin University, La Trobe University, Griffith, and the kind of programs that these universities are offering is business, information technology, and engineering. Okay, so these are the programs which has been offered by most of the Australian universities: pharmacy, business management and accounting, IT and computer science, hospitality and tourism, biotechnology and biomedical sciences. Then you have engineering and project management. Then you have education and teaching. Then you have MBBS, nursing and public health, media and communication. Then you have architecture and urban planning, where people go to study these one of these programs in Australia. Okay, private colleges in Australia, colleges offering bachelor's and master's program. Independent colleges offer bachelor's as well as master's. Some colleges are affiliated with universities which offers both UG as well as PGs. Okay, now colleges offering pathway programs. These colleges offer ELICOs and diplomas leading to degree programs. Now, what is ELICOs here in the sense? See, most of the Australian universities, the entry requirements would be IELTS or TOEFL, where you have to score a bare minimum of 6.5 in overall in IELTS, and no band should be less than 6. And if you're talking about TOEFL, you need to be in a position to secure 80 overall in TOEFL scores, and no band should be less than 20. Now, say for example, you have a student or I have a student who came, okay, with 6 overall in IELTS and one band he has 5.5. Then what he can do is he can do an ELICOS program, which is an English program for 3 months, and after that he can actually get into the master's course. Diploma leading to degree programs in the sense, say for example, you wanted to do your bachelor's degree in Australia, but your 12 percentage is not that great. So what you can do is you can do a 1-year diploma program in Australia, okay, where you get a lateral entry to your undergrad programs. Programs that are offered in most of the popular disciplines such as IT, engineering, health, business, hospitality, and there are many other programs where these kind of programs have been offered. Okay, pathway programs. International student can take pathway programs at Australian universities to make sure that we discussed about the language and study skills and advance their academic careers. Pathway programs help international students to meet the minimum requirements for admissions to the country's colleges and universities, like we spoke about group of 8 universities. Now, say for example, if you want to get into group of 8 universities, but unfortunately the profile is not that great, what you can do is you can do a pathway program, okay, in group of 8 universities, and then you can get into the major program. Coursework aligns with the higher education degree that students plan to pursue. I mean, like the coursework, the pathway program is aligned with the higher education degree that you are planning to pursue. Typically, learners take courses like mathematics, science, business, along with English language training. These programs can be offered at undergrad level as well as postgraduate level. Academic pathway programs, foundation programs offered to students who are not able to meet the academic entry requirements. English language program, academic purpose, okay, offered to students who are not able to meet English language criteria. Okay, then we have academic pathway programs. They are also called as diplomas leading to degree programs, D2D, we call it as. Pathway program smoothens the journey of a student and are designed to offer academic knowledge and English language skills required to meet the entry requirements of a university. Students usually get admission in a college where they study a diploma program for 1 year, and then they get into the later entry of the degree. That is what we have written. After successful completion of diploma, they progress into the second year of bachelor's degree, eventually completing the graduation in 3 to 4 years, depending upon whether you are doing a normal bachelor's or you are doing your honors bachelor's. Okay, now this is how the pathway program works. A student with 60% in HSC directly is not eligible. He will do a 1 year program and get into the second year program. A student with 75% program will straight away get into the degree program and they get graduated eventually. Okay. Then these are the some Australian universities offer pathway programs at different level. Now, who should consider pathway programs here in the sense? Offer the see generally what happens, there is something called as Nusara criteria. Okay, when you are wanting to apply for Australian university. This Nusara, what is this Nusara in the sense? In India, the universities are classified as Section 3 and Section 2. Okay, if you are from a Section 2 university, then you require a pass division from a Section 2 university in order to qualify for all the universities in Australia. And if you are from a Section 3 university, even having a second class degree, okay, that is a second class, will make you eligible for your master's program in Australia. And I've given few of these examples, okay, for what is Section 2 universities and what is Section 3 universities. You can see Section 2 universities, some of the universities, okay, I've taken from Andhra, some of the universities from Chennai, some of the universities from Karnataka, like Sri Ramakrishna Raju Engineering College, Sir AP, okay, Sir C.R. Reddy College of Engineering, Srinidhi Institute of Technology, Sri Pullareddy Engineering College, Bangalore University, BTU, Calicut, Cochin University of Science and Technology, Mumbai University, University of Kota, Madras University, that is nothing but your Anna University, JNTU, Hyderabad are Section 2 universities. Whereas when we talk about Section 3 universities, Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, basically these are called as deemed to be an university. Triple IT, okay, which is in Kanchipuram, International Institute of Information, again Triple IT of Hyderabad, KLU University, which is from Vijayawada, Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology falls under Section 3 universities. Okay, students are offered a qualifying program. One of the program called as PQP, that is nothing but postgraduate qualifying program. Student first completes the intensive program and then progresses to the master's degree. PQPs are available only for business management and accounting degrees. Example, the universities which offers this kind of programs are Griffith Universities offers PQP for business, engineering and IT related courses. Okay, so we spoke about ELICOS already. ELICOS is nothing but English Language Pathway Program, okay, which is also called as EAP, ELP, etc. Offered to students falling short of English. Students have studied English before commencing the main program. The duration of this particular program is ideally 10 weeks. The tuition fees for ELICOS is somewhere between 300 Australian dollars to 400 Australian dollars per week. You do have ELICOS, which is there for almost like 6 weeks, I mean like 6 months, but we do not recommend you because your visa file becomes very, I mean like it becomes very weak and the chances of getting visa rejection becomes huge. So we only restrict you to 10 weeks of ELICOS provided if your English scores are falling short. Okay, so now let us also understand, in order to apply for Australian universities, what are the documents that you require? You require your resume, you require 2 or 3 letter of recommendations, depending upon the university that you are actually applying for, and work experience if any. And if you're actually talking about work experience, the universities in Australia will ask you for your payslips or a bank statement where your salary is getting credited, or IT returns. One of these particular document is going to be mandatory for you. Then IELTS, TOEFL and PTE scorecard. Then you require to submit a statement of purpose called as letter of or a letter of motivation. You need to submit to the university. Then you require a degree certificate or a professional certificate or a completion certificate, and you require all the individual semester-wise mark sheets, which has been recognized by the Australian education system. You also require to submit your 10th and 12th mark sheets and your copy of your passport which has your first page and your last page. Okay, and these are few of the scholarships which are available in Australia. Students who actually go through the entire process through us, we help them in terms of how to apply for these scholarships. Okay, some of the scholarships that we are talking about is Australian Government Research and Training Program, Australian Awards, government funded for long-term programs, UG and PG, Dr. Abdul Kalam International Postgraduate Scholarship. This particular scholarship is being provided by University of Sydney. Up to 50% of your tuition fees can be covered within this particular scholarship. International undergraduate full tuition fee scholarship, which is being provided by University of Technology Sydney. Then you have international postgraduate coursework, full tuition fee scholarship, again provided by University of Technology Sydney, Melbourne International Undergraduate Scholarship, Swinburne International Excellence Undergraduate Scholarship, Griffith Remarkable Scholarship up to 50%. I mean, like your tuition fees can be reduced by 50%, and many more scholarships are being available in Australia. Okay, now the student visa, we talk about student visa here. The student visa in Australia is called as a subclass 500. In order to apply for your subclass 500 visa, you require confirmation of enrollment, which is nothing but called as a COE. What is COE in the sense? Student must be enrolled in a full-time course, okay, on the Commonwealth Register. This is something important. See, whenever you're applying for a university in Australia, first check whether this university has a CRICOS code or not. Only if the university has a CRICOS code, that's where this university is a good university. And second thing, this university has rights to sell their seats in India. If you do not have if the university does not have a CRICOS code, then you will not be eligible to get your COE. COE is something, once you receive an offer letter, you have to make a one semester or one term tuition fees to the Australian university. So once you make one semester or one term tuition fees to the university, then they issue a COE with which you are going to apply for your student visa. Applying outside Australia provides you a confirmation of enrollment for each course of study with your visa application. If you are applying for more than one course in a student visa application, you must include all COEs. Say, for example, if you are applying for a pathway program and you are applying for a master's program, then you need to have your confirmation of enrollment both for your pathway program as well as for your main program, okay, considering the duration of the course, so that you get you get the same COE covering your entire course over there. You might need to provide evidence of English. Again, we discussed about IELTS. Okay, then you also require overseas student health cover, that is called as OSHC. Have enough money for your stay. Now, when you are applying for your visa or whenever you are applying for a COE, okay, the universities we are going to do a financial, that is called as a GTE, okay, genuine temporary entrant requirement. So they're going to evaluate your financial status, and the funds that you are going to show, it has to be, if you are showing your personal funds, the funds has to be with you for a minimum duration of 3 months. Okay, if the funds are there with you for a minimum 3 months, then they will not ask you for a source of income. If the funds are not, I mean, like 3 months old, then you might have to prove how did this money come to you. And if you're going with a bank loan, okay, then you have to pay your one semester fee or one term fee from the bank. And once you pay from the bank, and the universities and the visa officer are going to ask you for loan disbursement letter. With that particular letter, you are going to file your visa applications. Okay, then you are required to go for a medical test, that is called as pre-medical test, before you apply for your visa. Okay, so this is the timeline. If you're planning for July intake, need not worry. If any student who is in final year right now or who has completed their education and targeting on this February, this particular July intake, need not worry, you still have time. But ideally, this is a timeline that you need to start preparing from September to February for your IELTS. Give your test either in the month of somewhere between Jan to March, and you will start getting the results from February to April. Submit your application to the universities by March or May. Okay, the reason because the universities in Australia take some time to give an admit. Depending upon the university might take 1 month time frame and can go up to 2 months of time frame. So if you start applying for March to May, you start getting admits from the universities somewhere between April to June, okay, and start arranging your funds, okay, somewhere between February to May, and start doing your financial assessments by the universities will start doing it from March to June, and you can start applying for your visa somewhere between April to June, and you can start flying to universities somewhere between May to July. So this is the timeline ideally one should follow in order to make sure their entire journey of overseas education is going smoothly. So that you're not in a hurry, you're not tending to do any kind of mistakes on your application process, nor you're giving, you're giving any kind of pressure to your parents to arrange funds, okay, nor you're taking any kind of risk in terms of getting your financial assessments by the universities. This is the ideally timeline that we would recommend our students to follow the procedures. Now, if you see the timelines for the ones who are actually looking out for February intake, okay, you still can start applying for this February also. Okay, need not worry. And if you're targeting on next intake, again, this is a timeline that you need to follow. You need to start your coachings right now, IELTS coaching. Start appearing for your IELTS test somewhere between February to March to May. Okay, you get your results somewhere between April to June and submit your application somewhere between May to August this year, and you start receiving your offer letters somewhere between June to September, and start arranging your funds somewhere between May to November, and get your financials assessed by the university somewhere between June to December 24, and start applying for visas somewhere between December to Jan, and you can fly to Australia somewhere between December to February. So these are the timelines that we strictly ask our students to follow so that they are not in a rush, they are not doing any hurry, and they are totally being prepared for the higher education in abroad. Okay, so these are the approximate cost which is going to be get involved. Okay, and this cost is for 2 years that we are talking about. The tuition fees is always a range because depending upon the university, it varies from university to university. You can complete your masters as low as 30 lakhs Australian dollars to as high as 54,000 Australian dollars. Okay, which comes in Indian rupees like 16 lakhs 40,000 to 29 lakhs 50,000 as a tuition fees. And your living cost in Australia is 21,041 Australian dollars, which is approximately 11 lakhs 50,000 rupees in Indian rupees. And you have to show airfare from India to Australia, which is like $2,000. That is your to and fro, which is around 1 lakh rupee. And your visa fees are 640 Australian dollars, which is 35,000 rupees. So your total expenses for your 2 years course is somewhere between 53,000 Australian dollars to 78,000 Australian dollars. That ideally means 29 lakhs 25,000 to 42 lakhs 35,000 rupees. Okay, and as I told you, we started our topic with a part-time jobs, and you are allowed to do a part-time jobs that is 24 hours per week. Doing your part-time jobs, you'll be able to earn per annum 15,000 Australian dollars, which is ideally like 8 lakhs 20,000 rupees. So now you can minus this particular money from the total overall expenses, that is around 38 Australian dollars to 62,000 Australian dollars. You'll be able to complete your education in Australia. Roughly in Indian rupees, it is 21 lakhs to 34 lakhs. Okay, and as we discussed scholarship, if you start applying early, you can also apply for scholarship. Okay, and you can also reduce your education cost furthermore. Okay, now depending upon the amount of scholarship that you are going to get in. So these are the post-study. This is a journey of your student visa to your PR. Okay, now let's discuss about our post-study work options also. If you are going to do your courses, so I will concentrate majorly on masters right now. Okay, the reason because if I talk about UG right now, okay, where the entire program is for masters, okay, it may not be relevant for you. Okay, so if you're going to do your masters in major cities like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, your masters is going to be for 2 years. As I told you, you need to do your masters, which is equivalent to 2 years. Okay, so if you do a course in masters, which is of 2 years, you get 3 years work permit. That means ideally Australia is going to allow you to stay back for 3 years. Okay, so and some of the cities and major regional areas, regional centers such as Perth, Adelaide, Gold Coast, and Sunshine Coast, Canberra, Newcastle, Lake Macquarie, Wollongong, okay, Geelong, Hobart. If you are going to do your masters in these kind of locations, your duration of course is going to be for 2 years, and you are going to allow for to stay back for 4 years, right? Which is ideally, okay, you are allowed to stay there for majorly for 4 or 6 years. Okay, and if you talk about regional areas, other locations which I have not mentioned over here, ideally the master's degree in these particular areas are 2 years, and you get 5 years stay back option, which is like 7 years stay back option in Australia. So these are some of the top-notch companies where, I mean, like top-notch occupations, okay, which falls under skill shortage, skill priority list, okay, because see, Australia actually gives PR for the students who are going to apply, okay, I mean, like who are going to do jobs where they have skill shortage. Okay, and these are some of the occupations where Australia has skill shortage, and these are the priority list. Okay, and if you get jobs in one of these particular fields, it is very easy for you to get your permanent residency. One of the specialization is geotechnical engineering, and the salary range is somewhere between 1,000 Australian dollars to 1,80,000 Australian dollars per year, which ideally means in Indian currency you will be able to earn 54 lakhs per year to 98 lakhs per year. Okay, then you have mining engineering, excluding petrol engineering, okay, where your average salaries are going to be 1,21,000 Australian dollars, which is roughly 66 lakhs in Indian currency. And then you have registered nurse, which actually is in huge demand. Okay, nurses get paid around 4 lakhs 38,000 Australian dollars, which ideally means 2 crore 39 lakhs as per Indian currency. Okay, then you have system analyst, where the average pay scale is in the range of 90,000 Australian dollars to 1,30,000 Australian dollars, which is in Indian currency 49 lakhs to 71 lakh Indian currency. Okay, then you have multimedia specialist, which pays you around 80,000 US dollars, which is like 43 lakhs in Indian currency. Then you have web developer, where you get paid around $86,500, which is roughly around 47 lakhs 36,000 in Indian currency. Software engineers get paid around 1,18,000 rupees, which is around 64 lakhs per year. Wow, cyber security architect gets paid around 2 lakhs per year. Can you imagine? Which is around 1.12 CR. Okay, and then you have network administrator. Okay, where pay scale is somewhere between 80,000 Australian dollars to 1 lakh 1 lakh 11,000 Australian dollars, which is roughly around 43 lakhs to 60 lakhs. Construction project manager, where you get paid around 1,20,000 rupees to 1,50,000 Australian dollars, which is roughly around 65 lakhs in Indian currency to 82 lakhs in Indian currency. And here is another list of skill priority list: project builder, sales representatives. You still have sales representatives. Okay, industrial products. Okay, then you have chemical engineers. Okay, you can go through the salary ranges: material engineers, civil engineers, electrical engineers, product food technologists, right? Then you have primary teachers, school teacher. You can see they are getting paid around 37 lakhs in Indian currency in Australia. Okay, then you have environmental engineer. Then you have agriculture consultant, who gets paid around 41 lakhs. Okay, so this is how again the journey goes on. Okay, after what? After my student visa. Okay, so once you complete your student visa, okay, you have different ways you can extend your visa. One is called as a skilled recognized graduate visa, which when the subclass is. Generally, what happens in Australia, the visas are called as subclass. Okay, so the subclass for skilled recognized graduate visa, in the sense, it's a subclass of 476. The visas, this visa is for students who have attended a degree in engineering program. Especially this particular visa is being given only for students, okay, who have completed any program which is related to engineering from any of the specified institution in Australia. Okay, and then you have skill nominated visa where the subclass is 190. Okay, so we discussed about skilled priority list right now. Okay, so to apply for this visa, you must have a prior experience in nominated occupation of Australian skilled occupation list. You need to have a prior experience in one of the skilled labor, one of the skilled occupation list. Then you have temporary graduate visa, which is subclass 485. Under temporary graduate visa, you have two categories. One is graduate work stream. This allows international students to live, study, and work in visa in Australia. Temporarily, this can be 18 months work permit. Okay, the other one is postgraduate work stream. This visa allows international students who have recently graduated from an Australian institution to live and work in Australia temporarily, and you can stay back in Australia for another 2 to 4 years, depending upon your qualification, depending upon the location that you have been graduated from. Then you have something called as employer-sponsored visa, which is 186, subclass 186. What is employer-sponsored visa in the sense? During your course or after your course, if you have been able to get a full-time job in Australia, and if your employer is in a position to sponsor your visa, okay, under section 186 or a section 187, you can directly apply for this visa, and this will allow you to transit from your work permit to a PR very easily. And the last type of the last type of visa extension is going to be called as state nomination subclass, which is 190 and 491. Many Australian states and territories offer their own nominating programs to attract skilled workers and international students. As I told you, Australia is a land where there are shortage of skilled labor. So what is these territories and states does here in the sense, they are going to they have their own nomination programs, okay, and these nomination programs falls under subclass 190 and 491, under which you can extend your visa. These state nominated visas, such as skill nominated visas and the skill regional visa, which is called as a subclass 491, can expedite your PR. So this is how all the international students actually stay back in Australia, and this is how they target to become a permanent resident of Australia. So how does the process with Galvanize work here in the sense? Any student who has been onboarded with us, who enrolls for our admission process, we do a detailed profile evaluation. So once we do a detailed profile evaluation, we give the university shortlisting. So once we do the university shortlisting, we help you in terms of helping you, preparing your statement of purpose, one of the key important document in our entire application. We help you in terms of preparing a letter of recommendations. We help you in terms of preparing your resumes. Then we also help you with your visa process, university finalization. Okay, like what are the documents required for visa? What type of funds, as I explained you about the funds. Okay, what type of funds is acceptable? What type of funds are not acceptable? Also, we help you in terms of financing your educational loans, because we have been tied up with some of the banks and the NVCs. Okay, so we suggest based upon your particular profile, we suggest which bank is going to be good for you, which bank is going to be offering you a lower rate of interest for you. And also, we also give you value-add services such as pre-departure information, which covers your travel, tickets, forex, opening a bank account, guidance on food, medicine, insurance, what to do, what not to do when you land up in Australia. Okay, so now how does Galvanize? This is how Galvanize help you. So let's know about Galvanize, little bit more further about Galvanize Global Education. So Galvanize Global Education, as Ram has already told us, okay, it's a company which has been founded by the alumni of Stanford University, IIM Ahmedabad, as well as IIT Madras. Okay, so one of our founder by name is Pavitra Srinivasan. Can you imagine? She has completed a master's from Stanford University, and she has completed with 100% fellowship. She has not spent even a single rupee in Stanford University. Ideally, getting an admit into Stanford University itself is like a dream come true. But It's not only getting an admit, she has been able to secure 100% fellowship. Okay, so we provide end-to-end personalized services for you. Okay, and it can be students, it can be working professionals who are aspiring to pursue their degree in global universities. We provide you personalized test preparation right from your GRE, your IELTS and TOEFL, or you look out for SAT. We provide a personalized test. This test is going to be unique for you because we do not believe doing a batch classes. The reason because when you are doing a batch, there is a 20 student, and the faculty cannot be in a position to concentrate on each and every student. And all the tests that we are talking about, standardized tests, such as your IELTS or TOEFL, if we're talking about majorly for Australia, and if you're talking about any other country, GRE plays a vital role, no doubt about it. Okay, and these are the tests which you have to prepare like what the way that you are, and you are going to compete by yourself while giving this particular test. So it is always better to go with a personalized test, and we are here to provide you that personalized test preparation for you. We are the expert. We have a team of experts which has been led by the admission counseling team. We help getting admits for bachelor's, master's, doctoral programs, that is PhDs, as well as for your GMAT. Like for your MBA programs. We also assist you with educational loan providers. As I told you, we try to fix and let you know like which bank is better for you, which bank is actually providing lower rate of interest for your particular session. We are also tied up with courier services. This is not required for Australia. We also help you with Forex, student insurance, like we discussed about overseas health cover. Most of the universities in Australia provide their own overseas health cover, but few of the universities, like group of 8 universities, might ask us to go with the external provider. If that is the case, then we also help you with that particular overseas health cover. Okay, these are students, okay, where we have supported, okay, from 65 countries, people enroll for our admission counseling services as well as for our test prep. We have students who actually took our services right from Afghanistan to US. These are alphabetically listed down countries. We have students from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Brazil, Canada, China. We have from Kuwait, Malaysia, Israel, Japan. We have students from India, Indonesia, Hong Kong. Then we have from Sri Lanka, Taiwan. We have from Turkey, UAE, Saudi Arabia. We have students from Dubai. We have students from US as well as UK, where we have serviced our team has been able to service students from across 65 countries. And we have been able to service to students to get 1,000+ universities admits across 18 different countries. Some of the famous countries that students actually choose Galvanize for US, UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, Singapore, Netherlands, New Zealand, Switzerland, Sweden, Italy, Belgium, Finland, and Ireland. Right, these are some of the specializations that we have helped it. So we have many more specialization, but these are the common specialization where most of the students actually go to abroad. So I've taken only the common specialization like animation, applied economics, big data, bioengineering, biomedical, business analytics, business information systems, computer engineering, construction management, data science, drug discovery, embedded systems, healthcare, health economics, industrial management, and many more specialization that our team has been able to get admits from these particular specializations. So it's a continuation of the same thing. We have students, you can see here, we have helped students for quantum physics. Okay, we have helped students for something like renewable energy. Okay, we have helped students to get admit into photonics. Okay, operation management. Okay, molecular biology, mechatronics, masters in management, and many other specializations. So this is our track record. Okay, our student, okay, from Dubai, that is Birla Institute of Technology, has got an admit into Monash University. This is the profile of the student. He had a CGPA of 8.94, a GRE score of 310, TOEFL score of 103, who got into MS Data Science into Monash University. Then again, Birla Institute of Technology, Dubai campus, we have a student who got into Monash with a CGPA of 9.21 and GRE score of 321, TOEFL of 108. Okay, we also help students, like we said, okay, GRE is not the only criteria here. We also helped Belur student, okay, well, VIT, that is Belur Institute of Technology, to get into Monash Business Information Systems with an IELTS score of 6 and a CGPA of 7.04. Can you imagine a CGPA of 7 getting into one of the group of 8 universities, and that too with an IELTS score of 6? Okay, that's the quality of work my team will be able to deliver for you. Okay, if you guys choose Galvanize to help you in this entire run. Okay, we also have another student who is from College of Engineering, Gindi, CEG, okay, who got into University of New South Wales, again, group of 8 universities, who got into information technology with a CGPA of 8.1 and a GRE score of 328. Okay, then we have another student from the same college who got into Deakin University for PhD program sustainability with a CGPA of 9.7, 6.5 overall IELTS score. Okay, then we have RMK Engineering College, Tiruvallur. Okay, we have a student who got into Lathrop University. He also got received admits from US universities. Like you can see, he got admitted from IIT Chicago, Sunny Binghamton, and NJIT, Lathrop, and Deakin. But he has decided to go with Lathrop for his Masters of Engineering Management with a CGPA of 9.7 and a GRE score of 302. Right? So now we do have different programs. Okay, students who are looking out for GRE. Okay, we have a GRE as low as starting from 9,889 to as high as 21,000 rupees. And please do remember these prices are excluding GST. Okay, and 18% of GST will be added to these particular prices. So GRE crash is nothing but it's a GRE course of 45 days. Then we have a GRE course for 90 days. We have a GRE score for 6 months, and we have a GRE for 1 year. So now you can choose which variant you want to, or what you can do is my colleague is actually pasting a profile evaluation link where you get assigned with me to do a profile evaluation. I'll be personally doing all your profile evaluation to understand your strength and weakness. Okay, to understand like whether you have to go with IELTS or TOEFL, okay, or to go with GRE. But as I told you again, Australian universities, most of the universities does not require GRE. So we can look at whether to go with IELTS or TOEFL. And you have the pricing for IELTS and TOEFL here, which is like 10,500 plus GST. And since you're attending today a webinar, you have a good discounts also running out to students who are actually enrolling with us for IELTS or TOEFL. We do have Republic Day offers. Okay, so you can enroll for any of the packages, get your profile evaluated, okay, and get discounted prices on any of our products that we are able to sell you. It might be for your admissions, it might be for your TOEFL, it might be for your IELTS. We do have Republic Day offer going on at one side. On the other side, since you have attended this webinar, you do have some good discounts going on. And do fill out your profile. My colleague has already pasted the profile evaluation link. Do fill out your profile evaluation link. And people who are not able to fill out the profile evaluation link can actually WhatsApp me. At the last, I will share you my number. They can WhatsApp me their resume. Okay, because of any particular reason, if you're not able to fill out your profile evaluation link, okay, you can WhatsApp me your particular resume, and I will be able to happy to analyze your profile and suggest you which colleges will be good for you. Okay, now why Galvanize when comparing to another player in the market here in the sun? Ours, as I told you, is a personalized study plan. Like we all know, when you talk about cricket, we all know Sachin Tendulkar is a god of cricket. We all know Virat Kohli is known for batting. We know that Mahendra Singh Dhoni is also good batsman. But all these players do also have a personalized coach for them to work on their batting style, to work on their batting skills. Because every time these players might do one or the other mistake, and they want, as an expert, as a coach, someone to rectify, to identify that particular mistake, okay, and to train them how not to repeat that particular mistake. So that is why, like we might talk about even tennis for that particular matter. Federer, the Wimbledon, he won 6 times. Okay, you also have a personal coaching. So it is always better to go with a personalized, to go with a professional coaching center. It might be with Galvanize or it might be with anyone, but my recommendation is do not try to do a self-study, because the moment all these exams are called a standardized exam and you should not be taking more than twice. You have to get your best score at the first attempt like this. If you miss out on your first attempt, then you have to give only second attempt. The moment that you go on giving on third attempt and fourth attempt, the universities will not see you as a serious contender for them. You might be able to get an admit, but the university feels like, okay, this student has taken so many times. What is wrong with this particular student? Is he not updated? Okay, easy that luckily the student has got this particular score or what. So the university's admissions committee would be looking into that particular way. So we provide you that personalized study plan so that you will be able to get your particular scores at the first attempt itself. And we do have unlimited ask an expert. You are being given an access to the expert for the entire duration of the program that you want to do. So whenever, again, we provide full-length practice mock tests, which are equivalent to the actual tests. Okay, so whenever you take a full-length practice test, we do a in-depth analytics of the way that you have taken the test, and we provide personalized feedback for you. Okay, and this personalized AWA essay scoring is majorly for the GRE. So in GRE, what happens? You have something called as a essay writing too, which is called as an issue-based essay. So we one particular session is going to be assigned for you to only to concentrate on your essay writing, and we do provide practice questions which are commonly used questions in the GRE. So these are the futures that we provide. Now, what are the benefits here in the sense? As I told you, we have our updated test patterns. So because we are there in the market, day in and day out, we try to understand how the test is getting changed. And whenever the test is getting changed, what are the changes that they are doing? And we update our test pattern, that is a mock test, to the equivalent test. As I told you that we have variation of products. We have variation of products. See, it makes you more affordable for you. Okay, so we provide complete shortlisting, right? We provide complete solutions for you. Okay, so where you come to know where do you stand. As I told you, when we do the in-depth analytics and feedback, you will also come to know where do you stand. Easy way of learning, because since it's an online course, okay, you do not have to travel down to a particular location, waste your time in terms of traveling. Okay, so since it's an online program, you can prepare at your own convenient timing. It can be either in the mornings, it can be in the afternoons, it can be in the evenings, or it can be in the late nights as per your particular convenient timing. And as I told you, we provide expert guidance to you. So these are the benefits of enrolling with Galvanize Global Education. So get your profile evaluated. So this is the link, okay, which my colleague has already been posting this particular link in the group, in the chat box. So get your profile evaluated. Okay, so these are you can actually go through a Quora. Quora is a third-party website. Okay, you can go with the Quora reviews to understand how Galvanize is different when comparing to other users. Okay, you can also look at our test prep feedbacks on Quora as well as our own particular websites. My recommendation would be, rather than looking at our own, okay, you can actually look out on Quora, because Quora is something, it's a third party, and third party website never talks about good or bad until the actual customers are actually talking about your particular organization over there. Okay, so this is my contact number 97916 55880. Who are not able to fill out the PAQ form can also reach me on WhatsApp on this particular number, and I can get your profile evaluated. So any questions for me, guys, now? If you have any questions, you can put down in chat box, and Ramya will be the person to pick out the questions from there, and I will be happy to help you everything on that.
Hello, sir. Thank you for the informative session. And I request students to post their questions so that you could get a head start for your higher education dream out there. Australia being a very beautiful country, if you have any questions about Australia, please do post it in the chat box. We would be really glad to answer them. So we had one question from a student who had asked whether we will have the recording. Yes, of course, we do have the recording of the webinar and the previous webinars on our YouTube channel. So I would request you to take a look at our YouTube channel so that you could not only explore country webinars, but yes, of course, there are a lot of other, videos that you will find informative about higher education, either for test prep or your, country related webinars out there. So we have last couple of few minutes. If you have any question, please do post it. We would be really glad. So, sir, we will give them a couple of minutes and
Sure.
we will wait for them to answer them. Until that, I would also request students, in case you are not much comfortable, then do fill in the profile form. This form is very, very helpful because this again helps you connect with our counselors out there at like Babu sir, who can help you out there, understand where are you standing today and what are the steps that you can take to move forward towards your dream destination. So do fill in the form which is being shared in the chat box.
So how many of you are actually looking out for immediate intake?
Sir, we have a question from Adarsh. The
Right.
question goes, Adarsh is from Bihar. He has done his postgraduate from genetics and plant breeding agriculture. Is Australia a good option for PhD?
Yes, because as I told you or showed the occupation list, okay, one of the shortage of skilled labor in Australia is agriculture engineer. So you can definitely look at doing a PhD in Australia.
Sir, for Australia, is GRE compulsory?
It's not mandatory, but having a GRE score will actually make, I mean, like, it is not mandatory to be very precise. But having a GRE score shows like, no, it will make you to qualify for better scholarships.
So we have another question from Mr. Chandra. He's currently studying MSc Biotechnology and he's confused whether he should go for Masters by Research or PhD.
Chandra, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, Chandra, I think Masters by Research or PhD program. So my suggestion would be look out for Masters by Research program. The reason because as I told you, PhDs in Australia is more of a self-learning. Okay, so it is going to be a challenge for you to complete your PhD in Australia. If you go by Masters by Research, what happens? So you'll be given classes. At the same time, you can also do your own research. Okay, simultaneously, what happens since you are from biotechnology, again, biotechnology, biomedical engineering, or anything related to technology, or say anything related to health, Australia is a very good destination where your the chances of getting permanent residency becomes more.
So we have last couple of few minutes. If anyone has any answer or question. So we have another question from Adarsh. How much will it cost for a student to pursue PhD degree?
So that depends upon university to university. The reason because it's whenever you're actually applying for a PhD program, you need to start your application process at least a year before. The reason because PhD, what happens, not all universities will be, I mean, like, not all universities will be providing the PhD degree on the thesis or on the subject that you want to do it. So ideally, it is going to be lesser, right? And the number of seats that PhD, I mean, like the university takes per year is going to be like somewhere between 6 to 10 students. Okay, so when the degree is going to be for, I mean, like when the number of students are going to be somewhere between 6 to 10 students, the competition is huge on PhD programs. So ideally, 90% of the times it is going to be a funded program, PhD, whenever you are trying to do a PhD, where the university provides the grants in terms of a research assistantship or a teaching assistantship. Okay, if it is going to be costing, as I showed you the comparison sheet for masters, it is going to be the same cost.
We have a question from Vanita. What career options are there in cybersecurity?
Cybersecurity itself is a career. Then you can also look out for web developer. Then you can look out for full stack. Again, cybersecurity is one of the skill shortage job. I mean, like one of the programs which has been identified, or it is one of the occupation that has been identified as a skill shortage. So getting a permanent residency is going to be very, very easy. And again, in the occupation list, as I showed you, cybersecurity engineers ideally earn somewhere between 1,50,000 Australian dollars per year, okay, which is around 80 to 90 lakhs in Indian currency.
So we have answered almost all the questions out there. And in
Great.
case students, if you feel a little bit hesitant to ask your questions here, do not worry. I have freezed my screen here. You could note down the link for the profile evaluation form so that you could get in touch with us and we could help you personally and solve all your questions out there. So we have one question from Chandra sir. Do I need any published papers for masters by research, where PhD needs research papers for admissions?
Correct. See, PhD by research is nothing but, okay, it's a kind of PhD only. Okay, the major difference here is going to be, see, in my PhD, what happened, you are going to study under, I mean, like you are going to do your own studies, like I told you. Okay, here what happens, here in research, what happens, there is a faculty who is going to train you. That's a major difference between masters by research and a PhD program. Are we clear?
We hope, Chandra, we were able to solve your doubt. And as you have a couple of more questions, please do fill in the form so that we could get in touch with you personally and get more doubts of yours to be cleared out there. So, by this, as we're coming to end of this session, I would like to thank Babu sir for joining us today and helping students talk about Australia, which is again a very beautiful country to explore. And also thank you to students for joining us today. And we will be coming up with many more such sessions. So if you want to be in touch with us and understand, what are the upcoming sessions, do be a part of our WhatsApp community so that you get regular updates out there. And not only that, here is our contact details so that you can make it a note and get in touch with us if you have any questions out there. So, Babu sir, would you like to say a few words before we end the session?
So as I told you, students who are actually currently in final year, do not think that okay, you are going to miss the July intake. You still have time. As I told you, the universities in Australia are flexible. They do not have a deadline system. The universities work on a rolling admissions. Okay, we can still target on July intake and we can start applying for these universities and we can make possible that you don't waste 6 months or 1 year of your time frame and you will be straight away able to go to abroad. Okay, but the one thing is you need to start preparing for IELTS if you're looking out for July intake right now. You do not have much time because as I told you, do not rush at the last. Give yourself that quality of time so that your applications can become very strong. Okay, guys, thank you all for joining. Okay, all the best and reach out to us whoever requires profile analysis or whoever feels like they need to have a one-to-one session. They can always ping me or fill out the profile evaluation form and we'll be happy to help you out with the profile evaluation. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. By this, we have come to an end of the session, and all the best for your upcoming journey.